Exercise is a great way to encourage lymph to move, especially if it's got stuck somewhere in your body and you've got swelling. We've made some films that you can exercise along with. But first, I'd like you to meet some patients who are finding out how and why exercise can help them. People like Joan.
It swells up a lot and it goes very red, and then it worries me. What I've been doing is doing my work in the morning, and then resting it in the afternoon like this.
Okay. Now, resting it like that.
Right.
So if you've got a bent joint, the fluid will come down
And stay in the
and it will
elbow.
stay, because it's harder then for it to come up and over.
Right.
So if you were going to rest it, what I would be suggesting is resting it like this.
On that,
So you know you're sitting on the settee, put your arm above the settee.
Right.
But not for long. We have to move our bodies.
I didn't know about exercises. I didn't know anything about anything like that, and I didn't have a sleeve. So my arm grew gradually. After 6 years, my arm was big.
Our heart and lungs work as a pump to carry food, water and oxygen around our body to our cells and take waste products away. If we don't move, the whole thing tends to grind to something of a halt. Even if you find it hard to walk or get around, there are still things you can do to get your heart and lungs working a bit harder and get that lymph moving.
Okay, Roy. So these are the type of exercises that we're going to talk through now. But because of your polio, you may find that you won't be able to do them exactly the same. But that movement is better than no movement. What movement can you do in your feet?
Movement in my feet.
You show me. So can you go up and down?
Yeah.
That's good. How often do you do this?
Yeah, well, driving.
Driving. Right, okay. Well, we need to do it a bit more, okay? Now, when you were just doing that, can you feel the back of your calf muscle?
Yeah.
That calf muscle is pumping. And it's pushing the fluid back up. Now, the next exercise, again, see how you manage this, but can you straighten your leg and bend your leg? Okay, good. So when you're watching the telly, sitting down comfortable, up and down with those feet, and then you're going to straighten and bend, straighten and bend. And while you're doing it, encourage your wife to do it as well, because we should all be moving a little bit more. Just doing a tiny amount makes a big difference. And the third exercise, can you lift your knee up and down?
Oh, no, that's...
Okay, can you do 2?
Like that.
Okay.
Just a little bit, yeah. That's no problem.
Becoming more active can be about trying to reduce the time we spend not moving. It'll make a real difference to your fitness and health.
Because the muscles pump against that sleeve, it pushes the fluid back and then you wee it out. Okay?
Right.
But because you've mentioned your shoulder is aching and the heaviness, I think these exercises will really benefit you.
Right.
So they're quite simple to do. Now the first one is easy. Opening and closing your hands, but nice and slow, nice and controlled. Lymph moves really, really slow, okay?
Right.
So you just open and close. How much knitting are you doing these days?
I think that's a lot to this. Why I said about it again.
Yeah.
I've been knitting a lot.
Okay. Knitting is fine,
Yeah.
but if you think about it, you're in one position
Yeah.
and you're doing this.
Yeah.
What you must remember to do is put the knitting down, stretch, stretch, go for a little walk around the house,
This is making a
put
lot
the
of
kettle
sense.
on. I'm not saying stop knitting, because knitting is a good form of activity for you. But too much of knitting, if you're not moving around, is not good. The second one, up and down with our wrists. Now you might hear a couple of cricks. Don't worry about cricks. Okay, lovely. And then this is the one I want you to do. Straighten and then bend. Straighten and bend. And what you need to do is to get into a routine. The phone rings, you can hold the phone, and then you can be doing this while you're on the phone. And then the third one, moving your shoulders, taking them all the way back.
Oh,
Right.
all the
Cricks. And me. And then what you're going to do then is bring them forward. Bring them forward. And that relieves a lot of the tension that's up here in your neck. Arm above your head and down. And what you might find is do both. So do your good arm, then do your bad arm. And then the last one you're going to do is arms both out to the side and touch. And then back down. So if we said start with 3 and work your way up to 10.
I could do 10 if I wanted to do it.
Yeah, but start slow. Do small things, listen to your body. But you were in control. You were in charge. Your arm, your body.
And it's not just moving our bodies that matters. What we're doing when we're not moving is also surprisingly important.
Do you sleep in a chair or do you sleep in a bed?
No, in the bed.
Great. A lot of patients that we see sleep in chairs, and that is no good for leg swelling. So if you imagine, if you're sleeping in a chair, and it could even, and people might say, it's a recliner chair, but even recliner chairs, you're not flat.
No.
These are our inguinal lymph nodes, all right? And you imagine if we are sitting now, what's happening to these lymph nodes? You see what's happening?
Yeah,
and yours,
them.
you're right, they're being squashed. So if we spend most of our time in a chair and even sleep in a chair, those inguinal nodes are squashed. So they won't do their job. So when we say to people, you have to go to bed, it's because when we're in bed, normally we're quite flat. And those inguinal lymph nodes are released. They've got no pressure on them. So it's really important.
As well as moving more and sleeping as flat as we can, there's something we can all do anywhere at any time.
So it's breathing in through your nose, holding, and then slowly breathe out through your mouth. What you've got to try and imagine is that your lungs are like these 2 balloons, and when you breathe in, those lungs expand, that balloon inflates, and then slowly let it out. It creates a negative pressure in our diaphragm, and it siphons the lymph fluid back towards those bigger vessels, and we wee that fluid out. So when people tell me, oh, I'm sighing a lot, that's actually quite good, because what you're doing, it's like a deep breath, but it's siphoning the fluid. So have a try for me. So you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, and then slowly out. I once went to a conference, and out in India, they ask all their patients to do hissing snake noises. So they take a deep breath in, and then they go it all out, because that creates a bigger pressure to get rid of the fluid.
You can breathe and relax, especially when I tell you that you don't need to join a gym to get fitter. Any movement is good movement. We just need to get into the habit of making these simple exercises part of our daily routine. There's a brilliant film on YouTube which talks about the benefits of walking. You can Google the title, 23.5 hours, or type this link into your browser.